President Trump embarked on a highly anticipated tour of the Middle East. His trip aimed to reshape America's role in the region. The centerpiece was a series of meetings and agreements in Saudi Arabia. Trump's visit came at a pivotal moment. The Middle East is grappling with shifting alliances and ongoing conflicts. Trump's visit marked a departure from the policies of his predecessors. He sought closer ties with traditional allies like Saudi Arabia. The president also aimed to limit Iran's influence in the region. Trump's approach was transactional. He aimed to secure favorable deals for the United States. The president's visit was met with a mix of anticipation and apprehension. Some world leaders welcomed his engagement. Others expressed concerns about his unpredictable style. The stakes were high for all involved. The decisions made during this trip would have long-lasting repercussions. The world watched closely as President Trump navigated the complexities of Middle Eastern diplomacy. His every move was scrutinized for its potential impact. The outcome of his trip remained uncertain. However, one thing was clear: the Middle East was on the cusp of a new era. In a bold move, President Trump announced the lifting of sanctions on Syria. This decision marked a significant shift in U.S. policy. Syria had been under sanctions for years due to its civil war and human rights abuses. The Trump administration argued that the sanctions were no longer effective. They believed that lifting them would help stabilize the country. The decision to lift sanctions was met with mixed reactions. Some experts welcomed the move. They hoped it would pave the way for reconstruction and reconciliation in Syria. Others expressed concern that it would embolden the Syrian government. They feared that it could lead to further human rights violations. The lifting of sanctions was part of a broader effort by the Trump administration to engage with Syria. President Trump met with Syrian President Ahmed al-Sharaa in Riyadh. This marked the first meeting between a U.S. and Syrian president in over 2 decades. The two leaders discussed a range of issues. The meeting between Trump and al-Sharaa was a significant step towards normalizing relations between the two countries. However, many challenges remained. The Syrian civil war was still ongoing, the country was facing a humanitarian crisis. The international community was divided on how to move forward. President Trump's visit to Saudi Arabia was also notable for its economic dimension. The two countries signed a historic arms deal worth $142 billion. This was the largest arms sale in U.S. history. The deal included advanced weaponry such as fighter jets, missile defense systems, and precision-guided munitions. The arms deal was seen as a major victory for the Trump administration. It boosted the U.S. defense industry and strengthened a key ally in the Middle East. However, the deal also drew criticism from human rights groups. They argued that the weapons could be used to commit human rights abuses in Yemen and elsewhere. In addition to the arms deal, Saudi Arabia pledged to invest $600 billion in the U.S. economy. These investments would target a variety of sectors, including infrastructure, energy, and technology. The Saudis hoped that these investments would create jobs and boost economic growth in both countries. The economic agreements between the U.S. and Saudi Arabia highlighted the transactional nature of Trump's foreign policy. The president prioritized deals that benefited American businesses. He saw economic ties as a key tool for advancing U.S. interests abroad. President Trump's Middle East tour sent shockwaves through the region and beyond. His decisions had far-reaching implications for the balance of power, the fight against terrorism, and the future of the Middle East peace process. The international community closely observed the unfolding events. One of the most significant outcomes of Trump's trip was the strengthening of the U.S.-Saudi alliance. The two countries reaffirmed their commitment to countering Iranian influence in the region. They also pledged to cooperate more closely on counter-terrorism efforts. However, this renewed partnership raised concerns about potential human rights violations. The lifting of sanctions on Syria had the potential to reshape the Syrian civil war. It remained to be seen how the Syrian government would use its newfound economic freedom. The international community closely watched for any signs of progress or backsliding. Trump's visit also highlighted the divisions within the Middle East. While some countries welcomed his approach, others remained wary. The region was grappling with long-standing conflicts and deep-seated rivalries.